Okay, here we have a picture of a deer. As you can see, the deer look like they need just a little bit of help. They're a little bit dull looking, a little bit grayish. So if I work directly on the background layer to fix these deer, it's going to look, I'm going to be locked into whatever I do. And if I don't like it, I'm going to have to back all the way up to undo every change. So I'm going to use adjustment layers instead because they let me go back in and tweak the settings for any layer. So first of all, I'm going to right click my background layer. I'm going up and I'm going to say I want a levels layer. Okay, now see I have the auto proof button in, so I can see on my big screen what's going on as you watch my cursor there. Now that I have that open, I'm going to make it a little bit more contrasty. That looks better already, but I think we'll tweak the colors too. So let's go in and look here. Deer usually have a pretty strong reddish tone to them, so I'm going to add just a little bit more red to this. Now I'm going to see about the green. I'm going to perk up the green just a little bit. Let's see. No, magenta doesn't work. I'm going to do green. Not too much. And finally, I'm going to try the blue. Now, there's plenty of blue in here. I think it needs some yellow to perk up the red and to give a more golden cast to the coat and amplify the green. So I'm going to add, yeah, see how that's bringing the color out? But I think maybe even a little bit more red. Little tiny bit. Okay. Now I'm going to go back out to the RGB channel, the mix of both. This isn't quite as vivid as I'd like it, so I'm going to intensify that color by bringing that end up. Okay, now you see I have a levels layer here. I think that I'm not entirely happy with this yet. I'm going to make one more adjustment layer. So I'll right click. I'm going to make a brightness and contrast layer on top of this. Once again, I've got my auto proof button down. So I'm going to take my brightness, I'm going to crank it up a bit. Ooh, that's pretty bright. Let's not do it that much. Maybe there. Now I'm going to do the contrast the same way. Just, yeah, that looks better to me. But, you know, I think it still looks a little too golden. I want to work on that color cast a little bit more. So here's the advantage of my adjustment layers. Rather than backing up and undoing my brightness and contrast and starting over and hoping I remember what my settings were for the levels, I'm going to double click, reopen the levels layer with the brightness and contrast layer on top of it now. And I'm going to go into my red setting. I'm going to add a little bit more red. I'm going to go to my blue setting. I'm going to take out just a little bit of the blue. Yeah. That looks better to me. Okay. I could keep working on this, but I think you get the picture now of why we use adjustment layers and what their true advantages are. So please give adjustment layers a try on your photos and see if they can't just give you way better control. Over and out.